Hello, you guys, and welcome back to Hot Girls Eat Carbs. I'm your host, Brittany McChrystal, and I am so glad you're here. Whether you're out on a walk, driving to work, cleaning your kitchen, or lying in bed thinking about your life, this is your cozy corner of the internet where we chat all things health, wellness, and becoming the version of you that actually follows through. Now, before we get into today's episode, if you have been loving this podcast, please like, follow, and share with somebody who needs this energy heading into 2026. It really does help this podcast grow so much, and I'm always so grateful when you share on your stories or you just tag me. Oh my goodness, you guys, this week has honestly felt so good because I genuinely feel locked in. I've been consistent with my workouts, my eating, my coaching, and it doesn't feel like one of those weeks where you're just on it and then you fall straight back into old habits. This really does feel different, and I really believe that this year is different too. And I think that comes from really setting clear and realistic goals at the end of last year. I feel aligned because I know that where this year is going and I have a plan, and having that roadmap has changed everything for me this week. Because when you don't have a clear plan or clear goals, it's like driving around a city that you've never been to without directions, and you're moving but you're not actually getting anywhere, so you just end up going in circles. And creating a clear plan and knowing what you're working towards gives you direction, and it keeps you grounded, and it makes showing up feel easier and also way more intentional. And honestly, I don't even have a huge recap for you guys this week because all I've really been doing is locking in, working, and showing up for myself. And in that, it feels like progress. It feels like I'm actually becoming the best version of myself instead of just talking about it. And that is why I wanted to talk about goal setting for this week's episode, because having a clear roadmap and clear goals for 2026 is so important. Not perfect goals, not unrealistic ones, just goals that give you direction, purpose, and something to come back to when the motivation dips. Okay, so let's get into it. Goal setting isn't actually the hard part. Following through is. Most people don't fail because they're lazy or because they're unmotivated. They fail because they don't have a system, and they quit the moment the plan doesn't work perfectly. And I think we need to have a serious talk about what happens when things go wrong, because they will. Most people treat their goals like a glass vase. The second it gets a little crack, they smash the whole thing and say, well, I guess I'm not just a fit person, or I'm just bad with money. But successful people, they treat their goals like a science experiment. If a scientist runs an experiment and it doesn't work, they don't sit on the floor and cry about how they aren't meant to be a scientist. They look at the breaker, they look at the data, and they say, interesting, that temperature was too hot. Let's tweak the formula and try again tomorrow. In 2026, I want you to stop taking your failures so personally. If you plan to work out 5 days this week and you did 0, that isn't a reflection of your worth. It is just data. Maybe the morning workout doesn't work for your current season of life. Maybe the gym is too far away. Maybe you actually hate Pilates and you need to try dance. When you detach your ego from the outcome, you gain the superpower of pivoting. You change the strategy, you adjust the timeline, but you never ever drop the vision. If you view yourself as a lazy person who is trying to wake up early, your brain is constantly looking for evidence to prove that you are, in fact, lazy. The moment that alarm goes off, your brain says, see, we don't want to get up. This is just who we are. But when you shift your identity, your habits follow. Think about it. A non-smoker doesn't try not to smoke. When offered a cigarette, they don't say, no thanks, I'm trying to quit. They say, I don't smoke. It's a closed door. There's no mental battle because the decision has already been made by their identity. In 2026, we are closing the door of the trying version of you. You aren't trying to eat better. You are somebody who fuels her body with intention. You aren't trying to build a business. You are the founder making executive decisions. When you adopt the identity first, the doing becomes so much easier, and you stop asking, what do I have to do today? And you start asking, how would the version of me who already has everything I want show up today? The 2027 version of you isn't waiting for a new year. She is already living it. She's already making the choices. So, babe, what is stopping you from being her right now? So how do you actually set goals that you can follow through on? This is where we bring in the SMART framework. We're keeping this real life and simple because vagueness is the enemy of execution. So, firstly, specific. Your brain needs clarity. I want to be successful is a wish. I want to sign 3 new clients is a goal. Being specific removes the decision fatigue of wondering where to start. Next is measurable. This is about information, not judgment. We are doing this because feelings are liars. Some days you feel like you're failing even when you're winning. Data gives you a receipt for your effort, and tracking keeps you conscious. Next is achievable. This is where most people sabotage themselves. They set goals based on their most motivated Sunday, not their busy Tuesday self. Your goals have to fit the season that you're in. Progress you can maintain will always beat extreme effort that lasts 2 weeks. Next is relevant. This is huge. Does this goal actually make your life better? Or does it just look good on Instagram? If the goal isn't emotionally connected to your actual values, you won't protect it when life gets messy. And finally, time bound. This is not about pressure, it's about focus. Without a deadline, everything becomes someday. A time frame helps you prioritize the now over eventually. I just want to get real with you for a second, because we've been told that if we just wanted it more, we'd do the work. We've been told that success is about grit and hustling through the resistance. But there is a secret that nobody tells you. Willpower is fleeting. Think of your willpower like a phone battery. When you wake up, it's at 100%, but every time you have to make a hard decision, like choosing a salad over a burger, or forcing yourself to go to the gym when you're tired, you lose a few percentage points. By 6 p.m., your battery is at 5%, and if you're relying on that 5% to keep you away from the Uber Eats app or the mindless scrolling, you will lose. The goal for 2026 isn't to have more willpower, it's to need less of it. This is where we do an environmental design. We are designing our lives to make the good habits the path of the least resistant and the bad habits nearly impossible. We want to make it hard to fail and easy to win. Friction is your best friend or your worst enemy. Friction is that tiny bit of effort required to start a task. If you want to stop a habit, add friction. If you spend too much money on clothes, don't just try to stop. Delete the apps. Clear your saved credit card from your browser so you don't actually find your wallet and type the numbers in every time. That 60 seconds of friction is often enough for your rational brain to kick in and say, wait, do I actually need this? If you're addicted to your phone at night, put your charger in the bathroom. The friction of having to physically get out of bed to check TikTok, that's a win. Visual cues. The outer sight, outer mind rule. Your brain is a suggestion machine. If it sees a bag of chips on the counter, it suggests that you eat them. If it sees a cute yoga mat unrolled in the corner of the room, it suggests you stretch. The pillow trick. If you want to read more, put your book directly on your pillow when you make your bed in the morning to go to sleep. You have to touch the book. You've replaced your phone's present with a visual cue for your goal. The cute glass method. If you want to stay hydrated, don't leave it to chance. Buy a cute water bottle you actually love looking at and put it on your desk the night before. I'm literally staring at my pink Stanley cup right now on my desk, and I am always reaching for it because it is right there and it's easy for me to grab. Number 3 is curating your digital environment. In 2026, your environment isn't just your house, it's your phone. Unfollow the accounts that make you feel like you're not enough. Mute the people who drain your energy. Turn off notifications for everything except the essentials. If your environment is constantly screaming for your attention, you are wasting your precious mental energy just trying to ignore it. Stop trying to be stronger and just build a better room to live in. When the environment supports the goal, the work starts to feel like second nature. Now we need to also have a heart-to-heart about the days where life just happens. We've all been there. Work was a nightmare. Your car made a weird noise. You're exhausted. And the last thing you want to do is cook a healthy meal or spend an hour at the gym. Most people operate on an all or nothing mentality. They think, if I can't do the full 60-minute workout or the 10-step skincare routine or the 2 hours of deep work, then there's no point in doing anything at all. They choose nothing, and nothing is a dangerous habit to build. In 2026, we are throwing away the all or nothing mindset and replacing it with bridge habits. A bridge habit is the absolute bare minimum version of your goal. It's the floor of your habit, not the ceiling. It's what you do when your capacity is at a 2 out of 10. If your goal is a 60-minute gym session, your bridge habit is a 5-minute stretch or putting your trainers on and walking around the block. If your goal is a 10-step skincare routine, your bridge habit is a face wipe and a bit of moisturizer. If your goal is to save $500 a month, your bridge habit is saving $5 this week. If your goal is to read 20 pages, your bridge habit is reading 1 paragraph. Just keep the streak alive. On your worst days, your goal isn't actually progress. The goal is keeping the streak alive. And when you do your bridge habit, you are sending a powerful signal to your brain. You are saying, I am still the person who shows up. I am still the person who cares about my health. I am still the person who looks after my skin. You aren't breaking the chain. You are just using a smaller link today. The all or nothing mentality is what kills your momentum. You go from 100 to 0, it's so much harder to get back up to 100 the next day. But when you use a bridge habit, you stay in the game. You don't have to start over on Monday because you never actually stopped. I want you to look at your goals and pre-decide what your bridge habits are. Write them down and give yourself permission right now to use them. Because a 5-minute walk is so much better than a 0-minute walk. Showing up for 5 minutes proves that you are disciplined. Showing up for 60 minutes just proves you're having a good day. It's the 5-minute days that actually change your life. Now here's the part that will actually make your goals stick. Tracking and reflection. You don't have to track to be hard on yourself. You track to stay conscious. Weekly or even just monthly check-ins to keep your goal in awareness instead of letting it fade into the background. Ask yourself, what moved me forward this month? What felt heavy and how can I make it lighter? Am I still chasing this because I want it or out of habit? Monthly reflection turns effort into progress. If something isn't working, you don't throw away the goal, you pivot the plan. Goals are not rigid rules. They're flexible guides. You don't achieve goals by waiting to feel ready. You achieve them by showing up imperfectly and consistently. 2026 doesn't need a brand new version of you. It needs a supported version of you. Clear goals, simple actions, a designed environment, bridge habits for the days that are hard, and the willingness to pivot instead of quit. This is how real change happens. So that is all that I have for you today. I hope this helps, and I hope that you are able to go into 2026 with some clear goals. I will chat to you in the next episode.